Tiffany here with Years of Years, and it's This Day in Disney for June 24th. And to start off, we are going to 1994 with the release of a big animated Walt Disney animated feature film, The Lion King. Oh boy, is this such a wonderful movie, and we have loved this movie for years. One of our children in particular loves it so much that they tend to even buy Lion King merchandise. Our family actually got to go see the Broadway version in Chicago when we used to live there, which is a whole nother story, a whole nother This Day in Disney. The effort that they put in and the puppets and everything. Really fun to talk about. But this is about The Lion King, the animated feature film, and this was Disney's 32nd animated film. This was the first Disney animated film to have a all-star cast. So they had Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Matthew Broderick, James Earl Jones, Jeremy Irons, Rowan Atkinson, Jim Cummings, and Nathan Lane, and much, much more. And the soundtrack was by Hans Zimmerman, Elton John, and Tim Rice. So undoubtedly, this became one of the most successful not only Disney films, but films ever. It is of the top 10 highest grossing films to be made thus far. This was also, what's neat about this is that it was the first Disney film to have an original story. So it wasn't based on any story that had been done before. This was an original story. And filmmakers said that they based some of it off of Moses and Joseph from the Bible, and then Shakespeare's Hamlet. So very interesting. You'll have to, as you watch it again in your life, kind of check out how you can see some of those themes going on in the film. You know, I reviewed this movie this week in preparation for this video, and right off in the beginning, something that I noticed that really touched my heart was the way that when Rafiki comes up to the big Pride Rock, getting ready to show Simba, him and Mufasa hug each other. And maybe just because of everything going on and how we're all social distancing, it kind of touched my heart the way they were hugging, and the importance of that in this film. There is such a huge family element to the film and community element to the film, and love for each other. And so I really love that part. And then something else I realized when Rafiki holds up Simba for the first time, of course he's holding him up to all the the animals of the land, but of course there's those sunbeams coming down from the sky, and it makes me think of later on in the film when Mufasa is teaching Simba about the stars and how his the past kings are stars, and you know, he was held up to the sky as presented to them as well as to those in the crowd. So I thought all that symbolism was really powerful, and maybe not something we always notice when we first see these animated features, but it's so impressive what they did with this film. It's huge, and it's had a huge impact on so many Disney things, and I'm so grateful that they made it, and can't wait to get back to get to watch the performance at the Animal Kingdom as well, and the influence there, and it's just great. I love putting it on all the time. So next up on This Day in Disney, Paul Winchell unfortunately passed away at the age of 82 in Moorpark, California. He was the voice of Tigger. So that is an iconic voice, and he is an interesting man to have done this particular voice, because he actually started off as a ventriloquist, a versatile ventriloquist, and he was very well known with his puppet sidekicks, Jerry Mahoney and Knucklehead Smiff. So he first became Tigger, though, in 1968 for Disney's Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day. And then he earned a Grammy in 1974 for the children's recording The Most Wonderful Things About Tiggers. He also voiced Zumi Gummy Bear and in The Adventures of the Gummy Bears, and Boomer in The Fox and the Hound, and Shun-Gun in The Aristocats. And then I also found out today that he was the voice of Gargamel in The Smurfs, as well as Sam I Am in the character for the Green Eggs and Ham. So those are all diverse, like, interesting voices that he was able to produce and really made the characters. Tigger is iconic. His voice really takes you into the character, as well as all these others that I mentioned, and Gargamel. That's just so funny to me. But anyway, and being a ventriloquist, obviously I didn't grow up with him, knowing him, or those you know, Jerry Mahoney or Knucklehead Smiff, but obviously they were super popular at the time because the original Marshall, Jerry Mahoney, and Knucklehead Smiff are at the Smithsonian Institute. They have those two versions there that they're keeping. So not only this, Winchell was a pre-med student at Columbia University, and in 1974 became an acupuncturist and a medical hypnotist. So go check out Paul Winchell. He was a very obviously big, talented guy. He had many facets that he was good at, an acupuncturist and a hypnotist, and I wonder how that all played with him being a hypnotist and a ventriloquist. Seems like that kind of would tie together. Very interesting guy. So I didn't quite check out, but if you've studied more about him or know if there's any autobiographies or biographies about him, I'd love to read up more. But you should go check him out and go watch The Lion King. Even if you've watched it a million times, watch it again and look for all the symbolism. It's such a good film. And that's it for this day in Disney. We'll see you next time. Bye!